Yeah.
Who started? Okay, let's go ahead and call roll real quick. Enzo is here, I saw. Andy. Taylor, there you are. Giselle. Ailey. Siyun. There you are. Edward. Has he been in here? Cassidy. Kaylee. There you are. Makai.
Taylor, you and Makai switch,
Chad.
because there's no girls at this table. So
Olivia.
Makai, you come to this table. and tell us.
Samuel. Danny, right here.
Thank you.
Stacy.
She came like yesterday, so.
Okay. We'll hold off on her next. Sua's here. Gina. There you are. Julie. She's not in here. Ava. There you go. Alright, I need everybody's eyes up here. Alright, today we're gonna talk about the Australian Aborigines. Say Aborigines with me.
Aborigines.
Good. Or Aboriginals. And we're gonna do a brief history. And then if you want more facts after we're done, I have provided you with a poster, has pictures and a couple little facts on it. And we're also gonna be watching a couple of videos. Is that okay? Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we're gonna watch a couple of videos, and then we're gonna have reflection time, and then we're gonna do an activity. Yes, sir. Yeah, well, I'll have one of my teachers pass pencils out, please. Right now? Yes, thank you. Alright, who are they? Has anybody ever heard of the Australian Aboriginals? Anybody? No? Okay. I know some of my teachers have.
Yes, I have.
Alright. Uh-oh. It's alright. The Aborigines are Australia's indigenous people. What did we say indigenous means? Native, good. And they are believed to be the oldest surviving culture in the world. They appeared about 45,000 years ago. Yes, they are still alive today. We're gonna talk about that. The term Aboriginal actually means first people or first inhabitants of the land. So the Aboriginals were Australia's first inhabitants. Boys at my back table. Thank you. Australia's Aboriginal people, they're spread out all across the continent in 500 plus tribes, so about 500 to 600. There are currently only 400,000 of them left, and they make up 2% of the population. And if you think about how big Australia is, 2%, that's not a lot. Each tribe has their own language, so 500 to 600 tribes, and they each have their own language. That's a lot of different languages. They all follow the same customs and beliefs. They're all connected by one spiritual belief system called the Dream Time, and we will get to that. They have the same tribal culture of art and storytelling, and they also have the same difficult colonial history, meaning people invading their lands. Before their lands were invaded, the majority of these tribes lived along the coast of Australia. Excuse me. They would move seasonally, so they were semi-nomadic. They would move between permanent shelters near the sea and others at the beginnings of the rivers, like the coastal rivers. Oh. Technical difficulties. Alright. They survived, and what have we been talking about? A lot of these tribes, how do they survive? How do they get their food? Hunting and fishing, planting, or gardening. Well, Australia's Aboriginals, they're no different. They survived by hunting. They managed their environment very carefully. So for example, they would bring wild yams into their own gardens that they irrigated themselves. They would gather, but they would mostly just bring the wild plants into their gardens, and they would grow seasonally. Tribes that didn't live on the coast bush, in the desert, very dry areas. They lived off hunting and gathering mostly, so they didn't get the chance to do a lot of fishing. And they were also experts in seeking out water, so very dry area, they could find water really well to keep them alive. Today, most people, they live in towns, often in terrible conditions. Many of them work on cattle ranches. Have you ever heard of a cattle ranch? Or know what a cattle ranch is? What's cattle? Cows. So they work on cow ranches. And but there's still several tribes that still live off the land by hunting and gathering. So not all of them have moved into the cities. We're having technical difficulties today. And this is just a map showing, let's see, all the different tribes. You can't read it, it's so small and there's so many of them. See, they're still spread out all over Australia and down here in this little corner. See, most of them, see how they're along the coast? Majority of the names are all along the coast. Right now, their spirituality, like I said, they have this belief system that they call the dream time. This was also a period of time that they believed in where the land, they think the land in the beginning of the world, basically, they call it dreaming. They believe that during the dream time, their ancestors rose from the earth to form various aspects of the land, like animal species, bodies of water, and the sky. So they believe their ancestors formed everything. They also do not place human species apart or above nature, meaning they are very connected with the land. Humans and land are one and the same, as well as animals. They think that some of their ancestors formed into rocks, like rock formations, like boulders, or the beds of rivers, and are still spiritually alive today. Right now, art and storytelling. Art is going to be kind of the main thing we touch on after this, and that also has something to do with art activity. Right, so art and storytelling is a huge part of the Aboriginal culture. Their songs illustrate the dream time and other tales of the land. So they have all their stories and they tell it through song and their art, their weaving and their painting and their... Yes, you can sketch your little dots out first if you like.
It was great. You ready to start?
Once all your paint,
You want to draw, you can start your pattern, that's fine. That's a great
you
dot.
can use your canvas long ways or up and down.
Hot dog or hamburger, however you want.
There you go, hot dog or hamburger.
If you want to pre-draw a pattern, you draw a pattern. That's what they're doing over there, they're pre-drawing what their pattern they want for their pattern. Just remember, it's up and down. Up and down.
Can you start?
Yeah,
Yes.
up and down. Dot, 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 dot. It's not a paintbrush, it's up and down. You gotta put a dot. Oh, there's four actually?
You're supposed to do this.
Unless you're doing that. Yes. And I can Google some more too, if you'd like. You want me to Google some more, or? That way you can-
No, that would not be Aboriginal art. That's not Aboriginal art. You gotta make it something other.
Think about what I talked about, what the different